Hello, everybody. Happy Wednesday to everybody out there. It's time for Troop Talk Live. It's my favorite day of the month for sure. My name is Aaron. I'll be the host today. As is usual on these things, I am way by far the least important person on your screen right now. I am joined by two of our most valued volunteers. Please welcome to the show, Lisa and Arden. How are you young women doing today?
Great.
Awesome.
It is so great to have you on today. Lisa and Arden are volunteers on the National Scouts BSA committee, and they are, again, volunteers. They don't do this because they have to do this. They do this because they want to do this, and we greatly appreciate their service, their time, and their expertise, and are really thankful to have them on today to talk about merit badges and things that are new about the merit badge process. The merit badge program, as most of you know, has been around for many years. It looks a little bit different now than it did all those years ago, but the spirit of the merit badge process remains the same. And we're going to talk about all kinds of things that are new and up to date and cutting edge with the merit badge process. Shout out to Rob, who says he's excited to see the updates done to many of the merit badges. Yeah, Lisa and Arden are members of that team who work on those updates to keep merit badges relevant to today's kids. It's a different world today than it was 5, 10, 15, 20 years ago. Some of our merit badges have been around from literally the beginning. So obviously they have to be updated. And we've got some new merit badges to talk about. As we start off our conversation, though, I always like for folks who are brand new to the program, we may have some folks out there who maybe you're a Cub Scout parent and your child is about to go into Scouts BSA. Maybe you're not even involved in scouting at all, but you might be interested. You've probably heard of merit badges. You probably have a vague idea. But Lisa, maybe you could just take us through real quick kind of the merit badge process and how that works when a Scouts BSA member pursues a merit badge. What does that process look like now?
It's really, technology has changed, but the process hasn't changed that much. A scout develops an interest in a topic or a merit badge, decides they want to earn it. They have a brief discussion with their unit leaders. It's, hey, I think I'd like to work on this. The unit leader may provide advice about why that is or isn't a good idea at this particular time. The unit leader will put the scout in touch with a merit badge counselor, who is someone who is approved by the council as an expert in that particular subject. And the scout learns the material, demonstrates to the counselor that they have individually and personally completed each requirement exactly as written. The merit badge counselor signs off, usually on a blue card. Now we can do that electronically as well, that the scout can do these things. They turn that in. They get their little piece of cloth, but also their satisfaction of, I learned something. I know how to do these skills. This proves that I know this.
Yes. I had a son who went through the Scouts BSA program, and in the merit badge process, to me as a parent, was so interesting. Not only do they learn about a specific subject, but they just learn about completing processes, working with adults, asking questions, doing paperwork, all these things like that they learn about that are really valuable skills. And I think what you'll realize as we talk for the next 25 minutes or so about that process, those things are still intact in spite of all this new technology and some new merit badge pamphlets themselves, some of which may be digital, maybe. Shout out to, I'm probably going to say this wrong, someone who's watching on YouTube named Gante, who says, hello, everybody. I might be pronouncing your name wrong. Let me know. Our good friend David, I agree. David says, thank you, Lisa and Arden, for everything you do for our Scouts. David, agreed. Thank you, Lisa and Arden, for everything you guys do. Arden, it's your turn. Recently, some certain tools have been released, some digital resources published, including some AI, artificial intelligence school tools that Scouts can use to work on merit badges on their phones. Can you give us an example of how that works and what that's all about and how that looks like?
Well, we now have a little scout bot named Scoutly, and I don't know, is it male or female? Do you know?
Gender neutral.
That's a great
Gender
question.
neutral.
Sure.
Okay,
Yeah.
I don't know. It lives on the bottom right of my screens when I get into scouting.org, and I can click on it and we can have conversations. And for the AI merit badge in particular, Scouts need to talk to the Scout lead to get the requirements done. So I really enjoy talking to Scoutly. It's a safe bot in that AI is as good as the information you give it and what it can read. And we've taught it not only about registration, but it knows about the Guide to Advancement, the Guide to Safe Scouting, and it knows about all the merit badge pamphlets and a little bit more information about AI so it can answer questions for the Scouts. My favorite question to ask it, it actually came up with it and said, hey, why don't you ask me this? So I tried. Show me the file. And show me the file for nuclear science merit badge. That's my favorite merit badge. And so what it does is it finds the pamphlet that it's downloadable, and you have one click and you can download it. Instead of maneuvering through the website, it's one-stop shopping. So I really use it for that a lot.
Very, very cool. We've got some folks in the comments who are already excited to talk about the test lab. How did you guys even know we were talking about the test lab? Unbelievable. Pack 960 says, so excited about the sewing and needlepoint test lab badge. They had around 40 scouts taking it at their merit badge college. Michelle says, that's awesome. I hope sewing and needlework gets picked up. We're going to talk about the test lab and how that process works. Our good friend Garfield says, I always enjoy these discussions on the methods of scouting. Thanks for watching, Garfield. We appreciate that. Very, very cool. Okay, so yeah, Scoutly is a great tool, a great resource for scouts for many reasons. One of which is, I'm sure both of you guys know, there is a lot of stuff online about scouting and merit badges. Some of it posted by, well-meaning folks 10, 15 years ago. You might not realize how old it is. Scoutly is the source you can trust because it's been fed the most recent versions of the merit badge pamphlets. So it is accurate. It knows what the most recent up-to-date requirements are. So definitely encourage all of our scouts and parents to check out Scoutly. Ask it questions. You can have a fun little conversation with it. Very, very cool. Lisa, when it comes to advancement, merit badge resources, things like that, talk about the updating process. Again, the process has changed a little bit over the years. The spirit remains the same. Can you talk about that process of updating the process and how that works?
Yeah, so obviously the content of merit badges has to be kept up to date and current as technology changes, and that has accelerated over time. We used to have a fairly rigorous process where every merit badge would be reevaluated by a team of SMEs or subject matter experts every 2 years. As technology has changed faster, that's not really quick enough. So now every merit badge is looked at least every year. If there are safety issues, we can update things much faster. And since the website is actually the ultimate source of truth, we can get new requirements and things out very, very quickly now. But there are huge teams of subject matter experts behind every merit badge, led by a team leader. And of course, lots of feedback from the field that goes into, okay, maybe we should include taking pictures with digital cameras as well as standard cameras, or, oh, technology has changed this, so how do we update that? I know we just did chemistry merit badge because some of the activities, it was hard to get some of the chemicals that you needed. So we had to update that. So yeah. It's constantly evolving.
Yes, and I shout out to all of our subject matter experts. I've had the pleasure of meeting some of them over the years, talk about different merit badges. Just in case anyone out there thinks that Aaron is writing the chemistry merit badge, he most definitely is not. We have actual chemists, professors, college professors, real experts in that field write the merit badge. I might add a comma or a semicolon here or there, but I'm certainly not the chemistry expert. Shout out to Omar, who's watching from Pack and Troop 4024 from Puerto Rico. Omar, thank you for joining us. Appreciate that. Perry's watching on YouTube, says another great topic on Troop Talk Live. Thank you, Perry. Appreciate that. A few other shout outs here. Becky from Troop 395 in Marshfield, Wisconsin. Yes, thank you, Becky, for tuning in. I had a little trouble with my state abbreviation there. Thank you very much. Brian says, moving away from printed merit badge books was well received in my troop. That kind of leads us into my next question, Arden, and you mentioned this a little bit, Lisa, the ultimate source of truth. We now encourage folks to go to scouting.org for the latest requirements. Arden, is that accurate? And can you talk about that process a little bit?
Yes. So you can find requirements many places, but the most accurate requirements are always in scouting.org in the Merit Badge Hub. And so please use that as your method. We have printed pamphlets, and they may have been printed in a couple years ago. And the downloaded pamphlets, now we took the requirements out of there. So there's no question. It's just the important information that goes along with the merit badge to help you understand it better. Scout book is pretty up to date as well. But we always guarantee that the place to go is scouting.org.
Yep. Yeah. I mean, yeah. And that's an interesting point you made there, Arden, that the, PDFs of every single merit badge pamphlet are now available for free to download. Jerry, that is the correct website. Thank you for sharing that website in the chat.
That's right.
You can download PDFs of all the pamphlets. What's interesting, as Arden pointed out, is you'll notice in those PDFs, there are no requirements. And that's because we know that those requirements, that PDF could live for a long time, but the requirements could be updated. So always go to the scouting.org website, the actual web page itself, not the PDF, the web page, to get the most up-to-date requirements. Lisa, let's talk about the test lab. So folks in the comments jumped the gun. They're so excited about the test lab. But for those who don't know, maybe, Lisa, before I ask you specifically about it, what is the test lab?
The test lab is another new thing from technology that we started about a year ago. There are potential merit badges in the test lab. There's currently 7 of them. These are not currently merit badges, but they're things that we're considering might be a merit badge. And so Scouts can go in there. They can go through, do all the requirements. They can work with any adult. So an adult does not have to be certified as a merit badge counselor for them because they're not merit badges. Once the Scout completes all the requirements, both the Scout and the adult they worked with fill in a survey and let us know, what did you think? Was this interesting? Was it, too easy, too hard? Were there other things that should have been covered? After a set amount of time, 6 months to a year, depending on the particular entity, we will go back, look at all that feedback, and then decide whether or not to make that an actual merit badge. So the requirements may change, but anyone who did it during the time it was in test lab, if they filled out that survey and it does become a merit badge, they will get credit for having earned that merit badge.
Very, very, very cool. Yeah. So for folks who are wondering, like, what type of topics are in the test lab, dance and psychology, 2 different merit badges, are currently going through that test lab process. Lisa, can you give us any numbers on like how many Scouts are testing them and the type of feedback that you're getting on those 2?
Well, I'm actually seeing feedback in the chat. A lot of them, the biggest comment we've got is, "Oh, I thought you should do this for a long time." So a lot of people are saying that. Of course, a scientist knows that you don't look at the data ahead of time because that will influence the results. So I can't say anything about numbers, but I will tell you, it's a lot of fun and people are having a lot of fun working on them.
Very, very cool. Yeah, yeah. When it comes to merit badge requirements, Lisa, as we said, the most up-to-date gospel is on scouting.org. Are those requirements, do they have to be followed as written, or can Scouts substitute other activities that, are basically the similar concept?
No. In Cub Scouts, the requirement is do your best. In Scouts BSA, the Scout must individually and personally complete the requirements exactly as written. And I probably have that tattooed on my arm because I say that very, very often. There are some accommodations that can be made for Scouts with special needs. And there's a whole chapter in the Guide to Advancement that talks about that. There's an upcoming webinar on that. So you can there are some helps that can be used. So you can change maybe how the Scout is learning something, but you cannot change what the Scout is learning.
Yeah, I think we always say they have to be completed as written, no more, no less, I think, or something along those lines, right? Yep. Quick shout out to Paul, who says they did a test lab merit badge at their recent winter camp. Very, very cool. Ray makes a funny comment about how interesting this is, change the role of a troop librarian with the digital merit badges. Good point, Ray. That is true. Librarians in the world in general have seen their roles change a lot. Michael asked a question. I actually think we can answer this question, Michael. The email for making suggestions about merit badge updates, can you guys share, isn't there an email address that people can use?
I think, is it merit
Arden?
badges at scouting.org?
Merit.badge at
Merit.badge.
scouting.org. Or
Thank you very
test
much.
lab at
Mhm.
scouting.org
Yep,
if you have
yep.
an idea for a new badge.
Yeah, there's a specific email address, Michael, for the test lab that you can get on that page for ideas and things like that. So be sure and check that out. But yeah, the Scouts BSA committee definitely wants to hear from you with your suggestions and your ideas. Shout out to Rusty, who is watching on YouTube today from New Philadelphia. I think that's new for you, Rusty. I think you're normally a Facebook guy, but you can watch wherever you want. That's fine, from New Philadelphia, Ohio. Appreciate that. Paul says they're doing the chemistry merit badge at their merit badge university this weekend. Very, very cool. Gante on YouTube asked, will there be a printed 2026 requirements book published? And the answer to that question, I believe, is yes. There will be I think you're talking about the Scouts BSA requirements book that lists all the requirements. There will be a printed version, right, guys?
Yep, it's at the printers.
I think we've seen it.
Very, very, very cool. Yep. So definitely look for that. Gante, I hope I'm saying that right. Look for that. Chance says, go Cajuns, Troop 10 from Lafayette, Louisiana. Thank you, Chance, for tuning in. We appreciate that. Garfield, watching on YouTube, says, as the chair of the Merit Badge Committee, Arden has a great team working with her. That is 100% accurate. I've corresponded with many of those folks. They are very, very professional and very friendly. A nice group of folks you've got there, Arden. Appreciate that. Arden, here's a question for you. When you update merit badges that some people might think of as being old-fashioned, the examples that I have here are, I know exactly, right? But radio, model design and building, things like that. How do you balance sort of traditional, some people might say old-fashioned skills with new technology? How do you determine what stays and what gets replaced?
Well, those two merit badges are definitely not old-fashioned anymore. A lot of this STEM, and these are technology merit badges as well. You have to keep current. Technology changes, and that's particularly true in these two. Model design and building, we refreshed it to include computer design and digital fabrication tools. And those are just big words for 3D printing, which we know Scouts and adults really like to do. For radio, you have to keep in the physics of radio. What is a radio wave? Can you get your name in and some kind of message in the phonetic alphabet? That had to stay. But we looked at radio and said, boy, we did not have the modern wireless technologies in there like Bluetooth or Wi-Fi, 5G, RFID. None of those things were in there. And so we added them. We also added family radio service and something called general mobile radio service walkie-talkies, which I don't know if it's a standard walkie-talkie or not. That's not my thing. But
that's why we have SMEs, right? To take
that's exactly why we have SMEs. They told us, hey, we need this. And I think modernizing these merit badges makes them not only current, but makes them relevant to the Scouts so that they want to learn them. They want to take them. It's fun.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, 3D printing, not something that would have been in that merit badge pamphlet when I was Scout age for sure. So that's things like that, updates like that. Very, very cool. My friend Matt says, glad to see Scouting America's commitment to continuous improvement, especially its merit badges. Good to see you, Matt. Thanks for tuning in. Becky says they love the video links on scouting.org. Yeah, there's all kinds of cool resources on scouting.org, including videos on earning merit badges in educational. I might be pronouncing this name wrong, but maybe Derek, Derek asks about Sea Scouts. Yes, Sea Scouts can earn merit badges, right, guys? I can't remember the requirement for a Sea Scout to earn a merit badge. Did you guys know offhand? Yeah, I don't either.
I just say they have to have earned first class in a troop, but don't quote me on that.
Yes, there has to be a little bit of a Scouts BSA background there, Derek. You can check with your local council to get confirmation on that. But yes, Sea Scouts who meet those requirements can participate in the merit badge program, can and should. Yeah, we got a lot of folks watching, a lot of folks in the comments talking about merit badges. I appreciate that. Another merit badge, Arden, that has gone through some updates recently is personal fitness. There's a merit badge that never goes out of style, right? Something that's been around for many, many, many decades and something that will hopefully be around for a long time. Can you talk about those changes?
We totally reworked personal fitness. And the reason we did that is our subject matter experts included medical and fitness professionals who said, it's time. And we'd been getting a lot of questions from scouts and leaders, and some of the requirements were a little difficult to understand. And so the first thing we did, so we did three major things. The first thing we did was we took out the requirement for a physical exam. Now, physical exams are still needed in scouting, of course, but not in the merit badges. And those three merit badges were athletics, multi-sport, and personal fitness. They're not there anymore. And so our focus now is to understanding the need for physical exams and habits that lead to better health later in your life. The second thing we did was we removed the requirement to improve in every test category. And one of the things that issues that we had was that the tests weren't in the requirements, they were somewhere in the pamphlets. And when the pamphlets weren't online, you had to flick through the book forever to try to find them. But even now that they're online, we thought, this is hard. So now we have the tests in the requirements and have videos on how to correctly do a sit-up or sit and reach or whatever. And the problem also we had was that some of the scouts weren't improving in the number of sit-ups or the speed that they ran or something like that in the numbers, but yet they were feeling health benefits, and that didn't count. So what we now do is category tests of aerobic, strength, and flexibility. And so looking for overall improvement. The third thing we did, this is long, sorry, but physical fitness had so many changes. We have new options for scouts with physical challenges. And I'm not talking just about scouts with special needs and disabilities, but some other scouts have struggled doing some of the exercises. Our national data said that quite a few scouts have issues doing one pull-up correctly. Now, I know I do, but I'm not 12.
Right.
As well as many scouts have trouble walking or running a mile. And do they not get physical fitness? Well, you can't do that. And so these new requirements have the scout working with the merit badge counselor to identify valid tests and achievable exercises that they can do properly and repeat number of times and even improve on. So those are the big things. 12 consecutive weeks instead of scattered. So then you can actually see improvements. I could go on worksheets. This one was redesigned.
Yeah, that's a big one. Personal fitness, a very, very popular merit badge. Lots of scouts earn that every year. Definitely important for us all, really, right? Not just even for scouts. So good to know that we are sort of staying on top of that. Jay Curtis, watching on Facebook, says, hi, Arden. Arden says, hi, Jay. Good to see you. I want a quick question on YouTube, and I want Steve, this is from Steve Ross on YouTube. I want to clarify, how do you determine which badges need to be tested versus which are automatically added? For example, he says AI and cybersecurity. Now, so to be clear, Steve, yeah, AI and cybersecurity did not go through the test lab. Those were simply added, whereas some other ones, auctioneering, psychology, dance, have gone through the test lab. Can either of you ladies comment on why the different approaches for those subjects?
There's a whole host of things that are evaluated so we get proposals for new merit badges, dozens every year that people want on a new subject. And so it's looking at how much interest in it. Will counselors be available? All kinds of different things. Are we sure this is going to be good for lots of people, or is this is a wild idea, but maybe it'll work. So
and I think this one, relevance, we wanted to be relevant to today's youth. Mm-hmm. And we knew we could get that done. And, it was exciting.
Yeah, for sure. Shout out to Todd, who is watching on Facebook. Todd is from Troop 601 in Farmingdale, New York. Todd is a regular viewer. Good to see you again. There is an aspect of scouting, well, it's an aspect of really outdoors in general called Leave No Trace. And Leave No Trace has been around for a while, but it's a sort of a set of guiding principles that really everybody should use when they are outdoors. Really, they should use it anywhere. But Lisa, several of our the nature-related merit badges are starting to include leave no trace principles. Can you talk about that philosophy, why that is, and other areas where it may be showing up?
Well, I mean, that's part of the whole, the outing in scouting, right? That's why we're here, is to be in the great outdoors. This is also an area where we talked about how great the merit badge team is. They're also great at collaborating with, with other groups. And so this is a place where we collaborate closely with the Outdoor Ethics and Conservation Committee and have them look at all these things to make sure, are we incorporating the right information at the right level for the Scouts? We recently went through all the rank requirements and okay, does this include the right information? Does it gradually work up and get more involved and more complex at the higher ranks? Things had been kind of added piecemeal, and some of them it's well, wait, this, second class requirement seems to be a lot harder than this earlier requirement. So we're trying to get some of that consistency and flow and clean up things that have been done, added at different times and all in good faith. But sometimes you have to go take a holistic look. And this is where the other committees are really helpful. The Special Needs and Disabilities Committee was wonderful with working on that section of the Guide to Advancement.
Gotcha. We have just a few more minutes left in our discussion with Lisa and Arden from the Scouts BSA committee. We are talking about merit badges and all the new resources, changes, updates, things like that. We have a lot of folks in the comments. I apologize. I'm not able to keep up with all of them, but please recognize that we see you. Some of you guys are asking questions and some other folks are answering questions in the comments. So that's great. Keep that going on. Arden, I got a couple of more specific merit badges I want to ask you about. Safety and wilderness survival. Those are two merit badges that got pretty good overhauls recently. Can you talk about the big changes there that folks need to know about?
Yeah, so safety is all new. So we added requirements for safety in public places, like if you see something, say something. But it also included not only the safeguarding youth guidelines, safety from assault, traveling safety, online safety like phishing, identity theft, and bullying, things that we've not addressed in the merit badge in the past. Wilderness survival was it renovated, we reordered it in a way that may not be clear to everybody, but it's reordered to follow the 7 priorities of survival. And so one of the things it does is it asks Scouts to look at their gear. Is their gear addressing their outdoor hazards? Is it going to help them survive if that happened? And to look at planning and decision-making that might go into looking for someone if they were in a wilderness survival or even search and rescue situation. These are pretty big concepts.
Yeah, definitely. Very, very cool. Lisa, we mentioned this briefly, but let's address it again real quick if you don't mind. If someone, a Scout, parent, counselor, has an idea for a new merit badge or a suggestion about a current merit badge, what's the process they can go through to get their ideas heard?
The best place is to send it to merit.badge@scouting.org. That gets reviewed by the people who are in charge of merit badges. I don't know if they answer every single one, but they definitely read every single one and discuss it and take them very seriously. We love the comments, so please send them in.
Yes, many of those of the ideas that we've talked about today originated from an email or a comment from someone who had an idea. So there are no bad ideas, is what I always say. Just send the ideas, and hey, if it doesn't get used, that's okay. Maybe, you never know. Maybe you'll come up with a great idea for a new merit badge. Again, a lot of folks in the comments, and I do apologize for not being able to shout out to everybody, but we definitely appreciate you commenting. And again, also some of them answering each other's questions. Appreciate that a lot. Just a couple of minutes left in our discussion here. Arden, with these new digital resources, there of course are still physical resources like a merit badge pamphlet for example, the family life merit badge, things like that. How do you suggest Scouters balance the use of physical resources with our new, really, really nice and cool and convenient digital guides?
So, I mean, I think we did all of these digital changes because Scouts learn differently than we did as adults, and everybody learns differently. Some people learn by reading, some people learn by hearing, some people learn by writing. All of your senses, and the more senses that you add, the better you learn. And so we added the digital resources because Scouts tend to live on their phone and they love their videos, and it's fun to learn that way. And so the new digital resource guides offer the ability to kind of be in between both of those, have interesting information in little bits that is derived from the pamphlet, and also have some videos. Sometimes it will have interactive games and other types of things in there. We love our digital resource guides. Please, everybody, check out the new Family Life. And I have to also do a plug for merit badge counselors. We have not forgotten you. You are very, very, very important to having Scouts be a part of this process. You are essential. And we aren't changing that at all.
Yeah.
But we are trying to make it a little more fun.
Yeah, probably important to note that Scoutly does not replace a merit badge counselor. Scoutly is just a resource. We did have a few folks in the comments ask about merit badge counselors. Yeah, merit badge program would not exist without our vast expanse. Speaking of subject matter experts, right? Those merit badge counselors. We need you guys. This has been a great discussion. Lisa, the merit badge program it's a journey. It's going to continue to evolve moving forward, and hopefully it will continue to evolve long after the three of us are gone. Lisa, where can people go to stay up to date on the most recent changes?
The best place is the program updates page on scouting.org. So just go to scouting.org, search for program updates. Things are published there as they change, including usually the beginning of December. We publish the requirements that are going to change January 1st, upcoming webinars. All the resources are going to be announced there. And thank you. Somebody put the link in the chat.
Yes, very good. Very good. Thank you all very much. We've gotten, again, so many great comments. I wish I could read them all. I'm just going to read a few real quick before we let you go. Pack 960 says, it was great to hear all the reasons why the Scouts wanted to take sewing and needlepoint. One wanted to spend time with his grandma. One wanted to make thrifting clothes cool. I need to learn how to sew a button because they always fell off. And this just cracks me up. My mom won't sew my merit badge on for me. That was my house with my kid for sure. Jessica says, this is great. Thank you for the update on physical fitness. Joe says, bring back beekeeping. Okay, Joe, hey, send an email. Tell us about why you think beekeeping will be in there. You never know. Shout out to Marianne from Troop 12. Paul says, thankful for the guide to advancement. Yes, me too. Becky says, when's the 2026 requirement book to be published? Soon, right, guys?
Any day now.
It'll be shortly, Becky. We've seen it. We've worked on it. It should be shortly. Unfortunately, the three of us don't control the actual printing publishing process. That's happening right now, and we'll get it when we get it. But thank you so much for reaching out. You guys, again, those email addresses, we shared them in the chat. That is the place to go if you have questions or ideas or suggestions. I know Jerry's asking about contact information. Send an email to one of those addresses. Was it merit.badges?
Merit.badge.
Merit.badge. Okay, thank you. Merit.badge@scouting.org. Jerry, that is your go-to place for contact information. Appreciate all the folks in the comments. Been a great discussion. Lisa, Arden, before we let you go, any final thoughts?
Just thank you so much, Aaron, and our behind the scenes person for helping us, and for everybody that had the patience to watch us today.
Yeah,
and all the volunteers who are out there trying to do the right thing in the advancement program and help their Scouts learn.
Yeah,
Yeah.
now that we're wrapping up, I told you guys that I wasn't sure how many folks will watch. I said it probably wouldn't be that many. We actually had a lot of people watching today. You guys did great. Good job, Lisa and Arden. Thank you to all the viewers who are watching. As a reminder, when we're done here, if you didn't catch the whole discussion, you can always go back and watch from the beginning on Facebook or YouTube. Again, thanks to Lisa and Arden. Everybody get out there, earn some merit badges. If you're an adult, if you're a parent who has a level of expertise in any area, maybe consider being a merit badge counselor. We could use you being a merit badge. I was a merit badge counselor for many, many years. A lot of fun. Very, very cool. This concludes our show today. Thank you all for watching. We'll see you next month on the next episode of Troop Talk Live. Until then, so long, everybody. Thanks, Lisa. Thanks, Arden. Bye, everybody.
Bye.